Success isn't an accident. It's not something that just falls into your lap. Success is something you design. It's something you plan for. It's something you take deliberate action toward, step by step. That's exactly what we're going to do over the next 3 days. We're going to design your success. We're going to plan for it. And we're going to set you on a path that will transform your life in ways you never thought possible. Let me tell you something about success. There's no magic involved. There's no secret formula. Success is predictable. It's not about luck, and it's certainly not about waiting for the perfect moment. It's the result of hard work, discipline, and the right mindset. Now, I know what you might be thinking, Jim, 3 days isn't enough to transform my life. And I'll tell you this, transformation doesn't happen overnight. But the decisions you make today, the small changes you put into action right now, will start the process of reshaping your future. This isn't just a motivational speech. What we're doing here is creating a plan, an actionable, clear-cut success plan. And by the end of these 3 days, you'll have a roadmap that will help you build a life that aligns with your deepest aspirations. So I want you to sit back, take a deep breath, and get ready. Over the next 3 days, we're going to change the way you think about success. We're going to lay out the foundation for a life filled with purpose, clarity, and action. Before we dive into the first part, make sure to subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, and share this message with anyone who needs to hear this speech. Don't forget to leave a comment below too. I'd love to hear your thoughts and how this speech is impacting your journey. Let's begin. Day 1. Create a clear vision for your future. Let me start by asking you a question. What do you want out of life? Take a moment to think about it. Do you have a clear answer? Too many people go through life without a clear vision. They wake up each day, go through the motions, and wonder why they're not getting anywhere. The truth is, without a clear vision, you'll never know if you're making progress. A vision gives you direction. It gives you purpose. And it gives you something to strive toward. So let's begin today by creating a clear vision for your future. This is the foundation of your success. You can't build a house without a blueprint, and you can't build a life without a vision. A vision is not a vague wish. It's not, I want to be successful or I want to be happy. Those are nice ideas, but they lack the clarity that will drive you forward. A vision is a specific, vivid picture of your future. It's a detailed mental image of who you want to become, what you want to achieve, and how you want your life to look. It's a vision that excites you, motivates you, and pushes you to take action. But here's the catch. Creating a vision isn't enough. You have to be able to see it clearly. I want you to close your eyes for a moment and imagine your ideal future. What does it look like? What are you doing? Where are you living? Who are you spending time with? How do you feel? The clearer you can see this vision in your mind, the more real it becomes. And when something becomes real in your mind, it starts to influence your decisions and actions. Your mind will start to focus on ways to make that vision a reality. You'll start to notice opportunities and make decisions that align with your vision. Now let me give you a little advice. Your vision must be big enough to challenge you, but it must also be believable enough that you can actually see it coming to life. A vision that's too small won't inspire you. A vision that's too big can overwhelm you. Let's say your vision is to be financially independent. Now that's a big vision, but it's also something that can be broken down into smaller, achievable steps. Maybe you're not financially independent right now, but you can begin today by setting up a savings plan, learning about investments, and building new habits that will get you closer to that goal. The key is to make sure your vision is something that inspires you to take action every single day. A vision that excites you, that pulls you out of bed in the morning, ready to face the day with purpose. The first step in creating this vision is to write it down. It doesn't have to be perfect, but it has to be clear. You can start by writing down what you want your life to look like in the next 1 year, 3 years, and 5 years. Don't hold back. Dream big, but also be practical. Break down that vision into manageable goals that you can start working on today. Once you've written your vision, take a moment to review it every day. Keep it in front of you. Let it become the lens through which you make your decisions. Ask yourself, does this move me closer to my vision or further away? If it moves you closer, take the step. If it moves you further away, reconsider and realign. But remember, a vision is not something you do once and forget about. It's something you revisit and refine as you grow. As you progress, your vision will evolve. It will become clearer. You'll refine your goals and you'll discover new things about yourself along the way. The more specific you get with your vision, the easier it is to stay focused. The clearer your goals are, the less room there is for distraction. And when you're clear on where you're going, the path becomes much easier to follow. Now I want you to take some time after this video and think about what your vision is for your life. Write it down, make it clear, and make it exciting. If you want to transform your life in the next 3 days, the first step is creating a vision that will guide you through it. And remember, your vision is the map. The journey is the action. Keep that vision clear, and the road to success will start to open up before you. We'll talk about the next step, how to build the discipline to take consistent action toward your vision. But for today, take the time to truly reflect on your future and begin creating that clear vision that will drive you towards success. Let's make it happen. Day 2, develop discipline through consistent action. I want to talk about something just as important as your vision, discipline. You see, a vision without discipline is just a dream, a wish. It's a beautiful picture in your mind, but without action, it stays locked in your thoughts and never becomes a reality. Discipline is the bridge between where you are now and where you want to be. But let me tell you something about discipline. It's not something you're born with. It's something you develop. And the only way to develop discipline is through consistent action. Now, I'm not talking about taking action once in a while. I'm talking about taking action every single day. Every day, without fail, you need to move toward your vision. That's what separates the people who succeed from the people who dream. Consistency is key. It's not about doing something big and dramatic all at once. It's about doing something, no matter how small, every single day. Whether it's reading for 15 minutes, saving a small amount of money, or making a phone call to someone who can help you reach your goals, those small actions add up over time. You know, it's easy to think that small actions don't make a difference. But that's where most people go wrong. They look at the big picture and think, I'm not making any progress. But success is not an event, it's a process. And that process is made up of hundreds, if not thousands, of small actions. I want you to think about a ship out in the ocean. If it's off course by just 1 degree, it won't seem like a big deal at first. But over time, that small deviation from the path will take it further and further away from its destination. In the same way, the small actions you take every day, even the small choices you make, will either take you closer to your vision or further away from it. And here's the good news. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to get everything right all the time. What you need is consistency. If you commit to doing the right things every day, even if you don't do them perfectly, you will get better over time. The problem is many people think they should have certainty when it comes to success, and they don't. Discipline is about creating habits, and habits are the foundation of consistent action. What are the habits you need to develop to get closer to your vision? Maybe you need to wake up earlier. Maybe you need to exercise regularly. Maybe you need to stop procrastinating and tackle your tasks head on. It doesn't matter what it is, as long as you can make it a habit. The more consistent you are with your habits, the more disciplined you become, and the more progress you'll make. But here's where the challenge comes in. Discipline requires sacrifice. It requires you to make choices. Choices that may not always be easy. You'll need to resist distractions, delay instant gratification, and sometimes make decisions that others aren't willing to make. But remember, discipline is the price of success. If you want something you've never had, you're going to have to do things you've never done. And that requires discipline. It requires you to step outside of your comfort zone, to push through when it's hard, and to keep going even when you don't feel like it. The good news is you're not alone in this. Every successful person you've ever admired, whether it's a business leader, an athlete, or an artist, has developed discipline. They've built the habit of doing the right things every day, and that's what has propelled them to success. They didn't rely on motivation alone. They relied on discipline. Now let's talk about how to make this practical. What can you do right now to begin developing discipline? The first step is to create a plan for action. You need to break down your vision into small, manageable steps. What can you do today, tomorrow, and the next day to move closer to your goal? What can you commit to, no matter how small, that will keep you moving forward? Write these down. Create a checklist for the next 3 days, and make sure you take action every day. It's not about being perfect. It's about being consistent. And when you make a mistake or fall short, don't get discouraged. This isn't about perfection. This is about building momentum. The more you practice discipline, the easier it becomes, and the more it becomes a natural part of your routine. Remember, success doesn't happen overnight. It's the result of consistent action, day in and day out. The discipline you build today will pay off tomorrow, and the day after that, and the day after that. So let's make today the day you commit to consistent action. The day you start building those habits, the day you start developing the discipline that will take you from where you are now to where you want to be. We'll talk about the next step in your transformation, how to embrace change and take full ownership of your success. But for today, let's focus on discipline. Take action, be consistent, and remember, success isn't a one-time event. It's a series of small steps taken consistently every single day. Now get to work. Day 3, embrace change and take ownership. Now on day 3, we're going to tackle something that many people shy away from. Change. Change is the single most powerful force that will either make or break your success. It's a necessary for growth, but it's also one of the most difficult things to accept. People often resist change because it feels uncomfortable. It feels risky. It forces us to step out of our comfort zones and face the unknown. But here's the truth. Without change, there's no progress. Think about it. When you decide to transform your life, you're essentially deciding to change the way you think, the way you act, and ultimately, the way you live. You're deciding to evolve into someone who can achieve the success you desire. But in order to do that, you have to be willing to embrace change, even when it's uncomfortable. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Change is hard. But if you really want to live a life that's different from the one you're living now, change is the only way to get there. Now let's talk about what embracing change looks like. It's not about just thinking positively or hoping for the best. It's about taking ownership of your life, your decisions, and your actions. You must take full responsibility for your success. And that means you must be willing to change in ways that are uncomfortable. You see, most people want success, but they don't want the discomfort that comes with change. They want things to improve, but they're not willing to step outside of their old habits, their old routines, and their old mindset. That's why they stay stuck. They never experience the breakthroughs that come with growth. So, how do we embrace change and take ownership? First, you need to accept that change will never happen unless you make it happen. Nobody's going to change your life for you. No one else can take responsibility for your success. You have to take the reins. You are the creator of your destiny. And if you want something different, you must be the one to make it happen. The first step in embracing change is to let go of the past. Too many people hold on to past mistakes, past failures, and past disappointments. They allow those things to define them, to shape their present actions, and to limit their future potential. But here's the reality. The past has no power over you, unless you allow it to. You are not your past. You are not the mistakes you made last year, or even last week. You are who you decide to be today. So if you want to change your life, you need to let go of your past. Let go of the stories you tell yourself about why you can't succeed. Let go of the excuses, the doubts, and the limiting beliefs. Instead, focus on the present. Focus on the actions you can take today to start making a change. Focus on the person you want to become and start acting like that person today. And here's something else. Change requires courage. It requires the courage to take risks, to face the unknown, and to fail and get back up again. But without that courage, you'll never take the necessary steps to make a change. The second part of embracing change is to develop a mindset of growth. The key to success is not to have all the answers. It's not about knowing everything or being perfect. It's about being willing to grow, to learn, and to adapt. You must view challenges and setbacks as opportunities for growth, not as failures. Every obstacle is a lesson. Every mistake is an opportunity to learn and do better next time. When you embrace change, you stop seeing failure as a dead end. Instead, you see it as a stepping stone, a valuable part of the journey. The most successful people are the ones who are willing to fail, learn from their failures, and keep moving forward. They take ownership of their mistakes and use them to fuel their growth. But this doesn't happen overnight. It requires consistent effort and persistence. You must commit to doing the hard things even when they seem impossible. You must commit to doing what others are unwilling to do. You must commit to being uncomfortable. On this third day of your journey, I want you to reflect on the changes you need to make in your life. What are the habits, beliefs, or actions that are holding you back? What do you need to change in order to move closer to your vision? Maybe it's a mindset shift. Maybe it's letting go of old beliefs that no longer serve you. Maybe it's taking more responsibility for your life and your decisions. Whatever it is, commit to making that change today. But here's the most important part. Once you've embraced change, you must take full ownership of the process. Stop blaming others. Stop making excuses. Stop waiting for the perfect time. The time is now. You are in control of your future, and the only person who can change your life is you. Remember, success is not about waiting for things to get better on their own. It's about actively creating the life you want through consistent effort, growth, and change. The person you want to become is already inside you. But in order to bring that person to life, you must be willing to embrace change and take ownership of your actions. As you continue on this journey, I want you to keep this thought in mind. Change is uncomfortable, but it's necessary for progress. Without change, there's no growth. Without growth, there's no success. So let's get to work. Let's take ownership. Let's embrace the changes that are necessary for us to become the best version of ourselves. And remember, the path to success is always under construction. It's not a destination, it's a journey. So let's make today the day you commit to that journey. You've got this. Congratulations! You've made it to the final part of this 3-day success plan. By now, you've crafted a clear vision for your future, developed the discipline to take consistent action, and embrace the necessary changes for growth. But here's something many people overlook. The journey is never truly complete. Success isn't something you just reach and then stop. It's an ongoing process. And in order to maintain it, you need to continuously reflect and refine your approach. You need to check in with yourself regularly, measure your progress, and make necessary adjustments along the way. Reflection is one of the most powerful tools you can use to ensure long-term success. Without it, you're like a ship without a rudder, drifting through life without direction. But with reflection, you have the ability to course correct, to see where you've come from, and to understand where you need to go next. So how do you reflect and refine? First, take the time to evaluate your progress. At the end of each day, each week, or each month, ask yourself, where am I right now? Reflect on the goals you've set for yourself and the actions you've taken to move towards them. Are you getting closer? Are you moving in the right direction? You see, reflection isn't just about looking back. It's about assessing the present so you can move forward with intention. So when you reflect, look at your actions and habits. Ask yourself if they are aligned with your vision. Are you making decisions that will take you closer to your goals, or are you falling back into old patterns? The key here is honesty. Don't just look at your successes. Look at your mistakes too. In fact, sometimes we learn more from our mistakes than we do from our victories. Acknowledge them. What went wrong? Why did it happen? What can you do differently moving forward? And remember, don't be afraid to celebrate your wins, no matter how small they seem. Acknowledging your progress is an essential part of the process. It's easy to get discouraged and feel like you're not moving fast enough. But success isn't always about making huge strides. It's about making consistent, steady progress over time. So when you achieve something, no matter how small, take a moment to recognize that progress. You are moving forward. The second part of this process is refining your approach. Once you've evaluated where you are, it's time to refine your actions and make improvements. What can you do better tomorrow? What adjustments can you make to improve your efficiency, your mindset, or your habits? You see, refinement isn't about starting over. It's about making small, intentional tweaks that can yield big results. Maybe it's tweaking your morning routine to give you more focus and energy. Maybe it's adjusting your approach to time management so that you're more productive. Maybe it's refining your mindset, developing a more positive attitude, or getting rid of the limiting beliefs that are holding you back. The truth is, no one has it all figured out from the beginning. Even the most successful people in the world are constantly refining and evolving their approach. They never stop learning, they never stop growing, and neither should you. Did you ever find yourself? Here's something I want you to understand. Success is a habit, not a destination. Every day you are building the life you want, one decision at a time. But it takes constant refinement. It takes adjusting your approach when something isn't working. It takes learning from your mistakes and using them to fuel your growth. Success is a habit, much like anything else you do. So what does it look like to reflect and refine in your daily life? Let me give you an example. Let's say you've been waking up early to work on your goals. You've been diligent about sticking to your routine, but one day you realize that you're starting to feel burnt out. Maybe you're not getting enough rest. Maybe you're pushing yourself too hard without taking time to recharge. If you weren't reflecting on your progress, you might just keep pushing through, hoping that things will eventually get easier. But if you take the time to reflect, you might realize that you need to make a few adjustments. Maybe you need to add in more breaks or shift your focus so that you're not exhausting yourself. That's refinement. Refinement, another example, let's say you're working on building better relationships with your team, your colleagues, or your loved ones. You've made great strides, but you're noticing that there are still moments where miscommunication happens. If you reflect, you might realize that you haven't been actively listening enough. Maybe you need to refine your communication skills, or adjust the way you approach difficult conversations. Or that's refinement. The key is to be open to change and growth. Don't become complacent. Don't settle for where you are. There is always room for improvement. Every time you reflect and refine, you get closer to becoming the person you want to be. Now here's the most important part of reflection and refinement: consistency. It's not enough to reflect once and then forget about it. It's a continuous process. Every day, every week, every month, ask yourself, am I still on track? What can I do better? How can I improve? Over time, you'll see how powerful this process can be. The small, consistent efforts you make will compound into massive success. And as you refine your approach, you'll build habits that move you closer and closer to your goals. Success isn't about achieving perfection. It's about constantly striving to be better than you were yesterday. Success is not about achieving more, but rather about succeeding in being more than you were yesterday. So as we wrap up this 3-day success plan, remember that your journey doesn't end here. In fact, it's just the beginning. Keep reflecting, keep refining, and keep taking action. Your success is a work in progress. Every day, you have the opportunity to improve, to grow, and to become the person you were always meant to be. The most successful people in the world are the ones who understand that success is a never-ending journey. They don't rest on their laurels. They don't settle for mediocrity. They keep pushing, learning, growing, and refining every single day. Their masters know, and so can you. The power to transform your life is within you. Keep reflecting, keep refining, and keep moving forward. You've got this.